Hey, welcome to another episode of MYD Global. I'm your host, Leanne Hackman-Carty, and today we're going to talk to Stephen Jordan, the CEO for the Institute of Sustainable Development. You know what? In the years that I've been doing this work in disaster resilience, I've not heard about a fund of this nature that helps communities when it comes to resiliency and recovery. So stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this. And think about donating to the Caribbean Ready Fund. It's a great way to actually make a difference in a region that needs a lot of help. Hey, Stephen, glad you could join me today. Can you tell me a little bit about ISD, what the Institute for Sustainable Development does?
Well, thank you very much, Leanne. Greatly appreciate being here with you today. So the Institute for Sustainable Development is a group of experts from various walks of life: disaster recovery, economic development, urban planning, corporate responsibility, public-private partnerships, who are all committed to changing the way that we think about disaster recovery and sustainable development today. There are about 30 of us across the United States and Canada and North America, and we're all committed to learning about best practices, pushing innovations, and facilitating public-private partnerships to make things a little bit less painful.
Yeah. And I know one of the things that you're launching is a new resilience fund, and it's called Caribbean Ready. Can you tell me a little bit about that concept?
Sure. You know, a lot of people talk about climate change, and a lot of people are talking about how the hurricanes seem to be more violent, the sea level rise is projected to get to a certain point, the acidification and the warming of the oceans, all kinds of challenges. But you want to bring it down to brass tacks. The question is whether or not the Caribbean is going to be livable in 50 years, and whether or not the 100 million people that call it home now are going to have to be going somewhere else. The real thing that we're going to have to think about is climate adaptation. How do we create a sustainable living environment for the Caribbean for the future? So what Caribbean Ready, the fund that we're developing, is to help with investments for small businesses, for schools, for hospitals, for critical infrastructures, for telecommunications, you name it, that help them to upgrade and to harden and to become more resilient. So we may cut a check for $750 to a small business to help them get a more wind-resistant storefront. It may be that we help a hospital, a pediatric hospital in Puerto Rico, with the mold and the disrepair and the dysfunction that they've had in some of their health clinics. It may be that we help a school develop a better shelter in case there's some kind of emergency there.
And so I think, when you look around the world at these disasters that are happening, so many people focus their giving on that relief and response phase. And then what you find in these communities is there's no money allocated to the resiliency, the mitigation, the recovery piece. And so is that kind of ideally that niche you want to fill with the Caribbean Ready program? Or?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that we have to tell all of our viewers is that if they think that after disasters, the insurance or some government agency or, I don't know, some nonprofit is going to come in and make them whole, they're sadly mistaken. So there seems to be this myth that there's all this money out there to pay for all of these things, and there isn't. And so you're finding people 6 months, a year and a half out, not in their home, with the electricity off, totally in disarray and all the rest of it. And so what we have to start thinking about is to really explain to folks, you got to think about resilience. $1 in resilience is worth about $4 to $7 in post-disaster costs, and you're not out of your house for 6 months, and you don't have the electricity off for that long. We got to change the way people think about this stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is a great concept. When we're going out in communities and hearing the stories and seeing the lack of resources for this phase, this type of work, I mean, you're going to hopefully get a lot of support for this kind of concept. And so if someone wants to give to the fund, how do they go about donating?
Well, thank you. I think that the easiest way is to go onto our website, www.isdus.org.
Yeah.
And you'll see the donate button front and center.
Perfect. Awesome. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
I think that one of the things that we have to really start promoting here for everybody is we really got to change the way we think about the approach to disasters and the way we think about the approach to sustainable development. Noah didn't start building the ark when it started to rain. He was building it during blue skies. And I think increasingly, if we're going not just to survive, but to thrive in this new era that we're living in, we have to think about what we're doing in blue skies. Make a difference.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. So at the bottom of the video, I'm going to provide the link to your website and so how people can donate, and hopefully, there's a lot of people that are interested, whether it's a small amount or a large amount. I mean, I think that the need is there, and thank you and the Institute for stepping up to fill this niche. Yeah,
I got to tell you, my dream would be that we have 1 million people donating $5.
Well, there's the challenge.
The more people that we have really thinking this way, that would make it worthwhile. It's a mindset, it's a mentality, it's a movement that we got to create.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much.
You bet. Take care.